Hey, welcome to Karate 360. I'm your co-host, Richard Mosdell. We've got tons of stuff for you with the other
co-host, Kalen Anglos, and I'm going to bring us into this show. Here we go. Karate 360. Let's start this show. You will kick high, and I will sweep low. From local to global, it's the thing that we love.
Karate Sandokumaru.
So I brought it low.
Little Barry White, brought it up.
Brought it right back up again.
Yes, yes.
Speaking of low.
Speaking of low.
Did you hear about this terrible, terrible news that came out today? The man, the myth.
The mustache.
The mustache. Burt Reynolds passing away.
Dude. That's a big thing. He's big. He was a big star.
Back in the day, he was like the man. He was absolutely
he was like slightly more. Well, he was very similar to a Tom Selleck.
Yes, exactly. In fact, I used
a little
to
bit older.
Confused when I was younger.
Which mustache is better there?
So Hawaii 5-0 guy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's your favorite Burt Reynolds movie?
Okay, mine is Smokey and the Bandit because I was a little kid when it came out. I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
you know, Smokey and the Bandit,
classic.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run, another classic.
Yeah,
he's had so many classics. Like you forget how good he was. And how
Boogie Nights was good. Boogie Nights.
Oh man, I forgot
that movie is long, but it was good. Yeah. Okay, what was yours?
So my favorite Burt Selleck.
Sorry, my friend.
Burt Reynolds movie. Yeah, no kidding. So it's after the time where he was big, but he played D.B. Cooper, the legendary.
The guy.
Cooper. That's right, the guy
in a helicopter.
That's right. He stole allegedly. I don't know. It's a myth, I guess. I don't know, maybe he was real. He stole some money, jumped out of an airplane, something like that. Look it up, D.B. Cooper. But the movie is called Without a Paddle, and it's probably came out 2001, 2002.
Okay.
Comedy about these guys going to find D.B. Cooper's treasure, and Burt Reynolds played D.B. Cooper. Unless it was Tom Selleck. But no, I'm pretty sure it was Burt Reynolds. So that was my favorite one just because it's a really funny movie, and he plays it well. So
that's awesome.
Rest in peace, Burt Reynolds.
Yes. I wonder who gets the Trans Am.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Well, family, I'm sure, or something like that. But it's sad. It's a sad day in the film world, I guess.
Yes. On a lighter note.
Let's bring that back.
Someone from Ireland is booked for a fight.
Well, yeah.
McGregor.
Yeah, he's been booked for a little while.
Well, we haven't talked about it on the show.
We haven't talked about it on the show yet.
That's right.
That's coming up October 6th.
It is. Exactly 1 month or so away. So
That's right. From our recording right here today. Super excited for that fight. Probably it will be the biggest UFC event of all time. The biggest UFC fight of all time. And yeah, I'm just so excited for that fight. I'm still holding off on my excitement until it happens. Because there's just been in the UFC lately, there's just been so many fights that are booked, and you get excited for them, and somebody gets injured, or somebody pulls out, or somebody doesn't make weight, and it's like, oh my God, it's exhausting. So as much as I'm excited for it, I'll be even more excited the night before when it's like, okay, it's happening. But it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. And there's people on both sides saying, Connor's gonna win or Khabib is gonna win, and it's gonna be exciting.
Where's the location?
It's in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Vegas. So one of their big MGM Grand events or whatever. So,
and I saw news of Floyd Mayweather Sr. saying they're in talks.
God, just go away. You're done. Just go away.
You took all our money.
Yeah, we're
good.
Just go away. Yeah, it's I hope nothing happens there, but we'll see. You never know with the Mayweathers.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's neat to see again combat sports getting a lot of buzz.
For sure.
A lot of stuff happen.
It's great. It's great for the combat sports in general, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now the WKF is going to kick off into a very busy fall season.
Yes. Yeah. It's coming up. World Championships are coming up in 2.5-3 months, right?
It's
it's going to be
the last one before the Olympics.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, and we're going to talk later on today about the African games that happened there.
Exactly.
We'll give the results on that. But yeah, a lot of big K1 events coming. Premier League, there's 2 of them in September, and the season's absolutely coming on. We're getting ready here locally for our competitive season, BC team, and that kind of stuff happening. So,
and just if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is normally when school's coming back in.
Yes.
I don't know about anybody else's karate club, but there's something in the water where everyone's got to join karate, and they got to join it right now.
Right now.
People are phoning us going, I got to register my kid. Is there any space left?
Yeah.
I think we'll fit you in.
I just made the connection though too. We were just on TV.
Oh, that's right. We were just on TV.
We just
several times,
and we got a pretty good segment there. On
those
the
guys are
news.
really nice to us over there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Check TV.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So I'm gonna say this, but I even had my barber, who I see once a month, cuts my hair once a month.
Yep.
We always chat. I would tell him I'm at Kenzen, blah
Yep.
blah 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 blah. As soon as I go in there, he goes, "I saw you guys' club on TV."
No way.
And I was just like, "Oh, really?"
Which shop do you go to?
For haircuts?
Fire Cuts.
The
Yes.
First choice.
First choice?
First choice haircuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
They said Friar Cuts.
Friar Cuts. I don't think that's a place. But I came, Friar Cuts.
I was like,
yeah.
God, it sounds funny, but I remember seeing this place where it was something like a Friar Cuts, and then I had like an image of, this is funny, but of a mustache.
Okay.
Like, oh, was that place
No,
I saw?
the first place I went here was First Choice Haircutters, and it was my man Corey who cuts my hair, and I only go to him every time.
Yes.
He knocks it out of the park every time. So
There's a place called Brothers Haircuts on downtown on Fort Street.
yes,
And there's always a lineup to go in.
it's like the actual, like almost like it's like a barber
It's
shop.
a barber shop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But they're all like, trendy guys owned by a bunch of European dudes. And one of them used to be really into Shotokan karate.
Oh yeah, really?
And so I always wait for him. And he's like, sensei,
Oh yeah,
come
really?
on in. And then there's always a lineup, but there's no number. So sometimes people get confused where they're in line. Sometimes people trying to sneak in. He's like, no, sensei is next.
Nice.
And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
yes.
I got that treatment too when
Yeah.
I just went for, I don't know how we got on this tangent about haircuts, but anyways, I went in, and as you just said, back to school just started. So I walked in the middle of the day, like 2:30, and it was just packed. There were so many people. I was like, oh damn, what am I going to do? So I put my name down, and they said it'd be about an hour and a half. I was like, okay, well, if I'm around, I'm around. Anyways, I took off, couldn't make it for the time.
Yeah.
Was gone for about 2.5 hours, and then I called back. Corey, my man
Yeah.
Corey, cuts my hair, answers. I was like, Corey, you guys still crazy busy? He goes, no, man, but you come in right now, and you're getting in right
that's
now.
awesome.
I was like,
That's
my
awesome.
man. So I got
That's
in.
Excellent.
So-
Well, it is really busy. Lots of people want to sign up for karate.
Yeah.
And so anytime I see any other ads or any other info about karate, I'm like, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Because someone will go, yeah, I've been kind of thinking about it, but I'm going to go to the place 2 minutes from my house.
Sure.
So
100%.
All those karate clubs who saw us on the news and now you've just got a big boost of interest because you're 2 minutes from someone's house, just send us 10%.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, I get excited whenever I hear anybody outside of the karate world even say the word karate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I was growing up, and probably even more so when you were growing up in 1940, it was not that long ago. Like karate was almost like maybe different for you because you were in Japan for 10 years, but here, it was almost like you didn't think about it. It was not obviously a mainstream sport at all, but it wasn't even one that
Everyone's uncle did it.
Yeah, like I don't think when I was nobody I knew did karate except for me. But now it's like people are starting to catch on that this is
I was
a
in it. I want to put my
sport.
kid in it.
Yeah.
I'd say like we're sort of like a 1 in 6 in our club of people coming in where the parents had some sort of exposure to it.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near like, oh yeah, like dad did karate way back. He's getting me into it or anything.
Yeah.
It's still not at that popularity level.
No.
So that's fine. We're introducing new people to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things we're going to release next week is a handbook on the club,
Okay.
right? Explaining how the club is designed and what we're doing. The club is easy way to think about it is we're training people on the journey to black belt.
Yes.
Whether they make it or not, and whether they go beyond the black belt, they're on that journey, and we're helping them out. All the great physical and mental, emotional benefits. And at the same time, if they want to compete, if they want to do competitions just inside the club, that's great. But if they want to compete outside the club, we're now going to require them to join Team Kenzen on one of 3 levels.
Yes.
Because I want people to have way more success and be much more prepared for when they go to an outside event with all the preparation and the stress, all that sort of stuff.
100%. Karate's always been like an individual sport. You go in, you do your own thing in the mat. But I've always been a big fan of the team atmosphere, being on the provincial team and that kind of stuff and training with a bunch of groups. I really think there's a benefit to training as a team, going to competitions as a team, even though you're in there, by yourself,
yes.
quote unquote, having that support team around you. And I think just having that structure of Team Kenzen or whatever the competition
Yeah.
team, I think that just really cements it because you're going to be training together, growing together, and competing together.
Yeah, exactly. So my friend Eric was here from American Sports Karate 2 weeks ago, and he said they do a regional and a national. For them, you just have to go to a qualifier and you get off to nationals. And the idea was people who are new and they're not sure, like they're in the regular classes, training for their belts. How do I do competition? Well, you join the team at the beginning of the season. We have like a parent meeting, team meeting. We explain it. So I was thinking, yeah, we have like a regional, which is like day trips. We have provincial, people who want to go to like the provincial championships, maybe try out for the BC team or BC games. Then there's kind of a national level if they're already on the BC team and they're going to compete at the Karate Canada Nationals, a style nationals, a world event. So I think the first thing we do is we find out what do they want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And this person goes, well, I just want to get started. Okay, well, there's 3 tournaments locally. They'll go, well, I can do 2 because the one on the third one, I have a piano recital.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and then, well, your fee then will be the registration for those 2 events, and then maybe chip in 10% for sending the coach.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's better than this sort of like, we go to one, we kind of peter out, we go to another one, kind of peter out. And I also think it's not as intense as saying, here's your year-long training plan.
Yes.
That's someone even at a provincial level, that might even be too much for them.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
They might give them the idea that it's 3 years if you really want to get to it, but let's take it nice and gentle, a season at a time.
For sure, yeah.
So I just wanted to see, because talking to other clubs, they were having a little struggle, like they have all these elite guys who are doing really well on one side, and then all these beginners on the other side, and beginners they're kind of afraid of going forward, jumping in. So I thought, let's call it like a regional level athlete. Then people may all train together. There may be extra trainings. So at first I had like, here's the fees for each level. Here's the different training times. And then it was good talking to Big Steve and other people like, well, why don't you work backwards and figure out what does the person actually want to do? And then to layer the plan against it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Yeah, it's more individualized. For sure.
And then at the end, they'll go, listen, Sensei, I want to go to 20 events. All right, well, there's a fee. And actually, 20 is too much. Let's roll it back.
Yeah.
So the 2 team Kenzen concept would be great. Got it on the wall. And I think the other thing is, it's a season. This season will be 3 months. And you hopefully will be coaching. Yeah. And then they can sort of reevaluate at the end. And we can have like a post-season meeting. And then they can get back into the second season from February.
No, I like it. I like the structure for sure.
Yeah, and we can do off-season and preseason, and then we'll still have running all our sports karate programs and still letting people come and train in sports karate who don't even compete.
Yeah. No, I like it. It gives it a little bit more structured approach for sure.
Yeah, and we'll be needing your feedback to help make the plan and help make the fitness.
We'll make it happen.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, there you go.
Let's talk about the awesomeness of the African Championships.
The African Championships. These happened last weekend.
That's right.
In Africa.
We got to know some names here because some of these people are famous.
That's right. So we looked at the results. We're not going to go over the results as we normally do where we would actually name them out because there's a lot of different athletes there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the overall medal count, tell you who won, who did the best, and we're going to highlight a few people. So go ahead, Richard, what do you got there for the medal count?
Well, do you want me to do all the countries or want to go one at a time here?
Just go one at a time.
All right. Well, basically, Egypt crushed it.
Just absolutely crushed it.
16 golds, 3 silvers, 7 bronzes. Way ahead.
26 medals overall.
Huge.
Yeah.
Egypt is a powerhouse in the world.
For sure.
Algeria came in second at 7 golds, 1 silver, and 7 bronzes. And then it's Morocco, South Africa, Cameroon, and Rwanda who came in with 1 gold each. Then 4 silvers, 3 silvers, 2 silvers, and 2. And then they had a smattering of bronzes. By the way, Cameroon got 10 bronze medals.
10, okay.
There's like a
group potential, there.
Let's go there. The tournament was held in Rwanda.
Okay.
Now that must be a story in amongst itself. I mean, we are how many years are we out? 14 years since the genocide.
Yes.
And they've had all the rebuilding. So just holding a really big event like this, and if it went off well, it sounded like it did.
Yeah.
That's a really great sign for civil society coming back.
For sure.
So let's highlight some pretty amazing athlete. Now you have a female athlete,
Yeah,
right?
so I got a female athlete that we were looking at here. She's in the minus 61 Kumite division. Her name is Gianna Lotfi from Egypt, and she won gold. She won gold at this event, won every single match, obviously, and it looks like she dominated pretty much every single match as well. So
I believe when I read about it, she's the star, the star of Egypt, or the Egypt star.
Something like that.
Yes.
The star of Egypt, Gianna Lotfi.
Yep.
And we thought, wow, haven't heard a lot of her. What makes her the star of Egypt? So we went and looked at her previous record, and it shows why. So Gianna Lotfi, she came on the stage first. Let me just go back here in 2009.
Gotta remember his name.
Junior, Gianna Lotfi.
Yep.
Okay? In 2009, 2011, just some junior events, youth events. But in between 2000 and let me see here.
Well, 2011, she won the Junior World Championship.
In 2011. So there you go. She won the junior championship.
In under 21. Yeah.
Yeah, so then when she got to the seniors in 2014, between 2014 and 2016, 2 years, she got 9 gold medals.
Gold
9
medals.
First place finishes. And we're not
WKF
just
Worlds.
yeah.
First place in Worlds in 2014 and 2016.
So 2 world championships. She won gold in pretty much every single Premier League along the way too. Between 2014 and 2016, she was the person to beat in the minus 61 Kumite division. Now, between 2016 and now, 2018,
she
the
was
beginning of this
abducted
year,
by aliens.
she did nothing. She did absolutely nothing.
Or she did something but didn't get anything out of it. It
would have even shown a participation.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even show anything between 2016 and the beginning of 2018.
So did she have any? Yeah, we were trying to find out, did she have an injury?
Yeah, and what we could find is it just said she didn't.
Gianna, contact us. We want to know.
That's right. We'll have you on the show. But this year so far, the first 2 K1 Premier Leagues that she's won, she's been in the top. She did participation. Sorry. So actually in K1 in Premier League in Paris, she won 2 matches, and then the last one in Dubai, she actually didn't win any.
So you still show up even if you didn't win a match, right?
That's right. Yeah, you still get points actually.
So there's something. I bet she blew an ankle or something.
Yeah, I bet she got injured in that. Yep. So keep your eye on Gianna Lotfi, 2-time world champion, and coming on strong.
Winning the Africa Championships.
Yeah, so that'll be somebody to watch as well in the minus 61 kilogram division. All right, who do you got for your highlight?
All right, so a really interesting guy, Mohamed El Khoutobi.
From Egypt?
From Egypt. Another one from Egypt because obviously Egypt was just crushing it.
Sure.
And let's see here. I just got to go back. He is minus 84 Kumite.
Okay.
He's ranked, I believe, 12th in the world, if you want to just check that.
Yeah, you're right. And actually, Gianna Lotfi, just so to be clear, she's ranked 22nd in the WKF rankings right now.
22nd. Okay. Yeah, so with Mohamed El Khoutobi, he first came on the scene, again, won the Worlds in 2011.
Wow.
All right. Minus 70 as a cadet. And went on to his first, 3 years after that, about 4 first place. Then he was getting third places as he went into 2016. Then he kind of hung out at third places. But this year he's had a second place in K1 Rotterdam and a second place in Rabat.
Okay.
He didn't win anything in Istanbul, just got participation, but won a gold medal here in the African Championships. Interesting with him, when he was competing in Rotterdam, where he, he got a second place.
Okay.
Right in the finals, he was up against Ugar Aktas from Turkey, and he Akhtobi was fighting for France.
That's right. Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah. So I have a video of him fighting for France.
So even though he's
dual citizenship,
he's on the Egypt team, won gold. He was fighting for France in Rotterdam.
So can we want to play a little?
Yeah. Turn it
10-second clip here.
Turn it a little bit more. There we go.
Okay,
yeah,
so I'll have to figure out who's who. Just 1 second here. I can't figure. I think he's the red.
Yeah,
in this one.
You're right. Yeah, he is.
So this should be about a 10-second. He's going to punch over the shoulder. Right. There.
Oh, nice little Kazamazuki.
Yes.
Nice. We were working on that tonight.
Awesome. Now, do you notice that the defender was doing, something that's common in the last couple of years of ducking under the attack?
Yes, yeah.
But he caught him.
He was so fast.
Beforehand. Let's just watch that again. And what I want you to do is look at his leg set up for those 3-4 seconds beforehand. Okay? Let me do it again.
I missed it. I wasn't looking.
Okay? So he's
quite low.
It's quite low.
Loaded.
He's gonna tag the person's foot, and then he's gonna bounce.
Oh yeah, the classic tag and go. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
And over.
Nice. Very good.
Caught
Very
him
good.
just before. There was a bit of a hesitation, right? He's got his knees bent.
I love this because he takes the attention down to the foot with a little touch here in a second.
Yep.
Goes, boop, think down there, and then I'm coming over top.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
So it was a nice little tag. And something simple.
Yeah, for
something
sure.
Simple,
effective, and yeah. It was
not
good.
over trying to do it. So I thought that was a really interesting technique because that's something that whether you're just starting out in the dojo or you're world champion, and the extension, he had a really nice extension with his body.
And a good retraction.
Good retraction.
Yeah.
Yep. And for the other fighter, it was just that hesitation of like, what's coming next?
Yeah.
I remember my old coach, Kumite coach Reza, saying sometimes when you go high, you look low. And when you go low, you look high.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's all about misinformation.
100%.
And I kind of was thinking that in that, like, he was kind of bending low, like he's going to drive in for a reverse punch, but decided to go up.
Yeah.
So a little bit of that throwing misinformation.
Yeah, and I like I've used to use that technique all the time, is a little touch of the leg at the bottom.
Yes.
Because as soon as somebody hits you, there's an instant where you go, oh, what's going on down there?
Exactly.
And then somebody comes over top.
Exactly.
It's great. Super effective. I love it.
Yep. So congratulations to them. And two names everyone should keep their eyes on for the next couple events, especially now that they're coming off this really big win in Africa. What are they going to do in 2018?
That's right.
And what's really interesting about her result,
Gianna Lotfi's, yeah.
Gianna Lotfi's result. Okay, so she's only had participation in 2 events, yet
This
she's
year.
22nd still.
Yeah,
That 2016 gold medal.
Well, you can just look at her points. Like, it just, like she just racked them up throughout the years.
It's big.
Yeah.
So if someone is struggling right now and they do well in the upcoming world championships, that'll get them in a long way in. If the Olympic qualifying event is going to be in early 2020, you do well at this world championship,
you're in good shape.
Yeah. It can hold you in the top 50.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll have to share the rules on what that actual event's finally going to look like.
Yeah, they haven't really released a lot on it, but we'll look into it for sure.
Right on.
All right, let's get into a little bit technical, tactical, Richard.
Okay, mine this week is mental training.
Mental training. Okay.
It's about recognizing that everyone has an internal dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Self-talk.
And a lot of that self-talk is questioning yourself when you should give up. And at that point, you're going to crack and you're not going to improve. And it's going to hold you back from the volume of practice you need to think about how to get better and then actually feel getting better.
Yes. 100%.
And I think this is a really key month. All these people are they're either coming into the dojo to start karate, so they have to work around that internal dialogue to hang out until they start having fun because they're starting to actually do the moves and have some success. I think it's important for people who are just regular karate members who are training. They know that all their life is getting back into order. Do I go do soccer more? Do I do this? There's a saying like, today's karate class could be the one that 1 or 2 people in the room use to decide if they're going to stay in karate for the next 3 months.
Yes. Yeah.
Or they're going to drop out today.
Yeah.
So they're having this internal dialogue. And then for both the provincial or state athlete and the national, now their season is ramping up.
That's right. So you have no room for negative self-talk.
Exactly.
You got to be on your own too. It's like the success loop, right? And especially when people are coming in and learning something new like karate, or maybe they got a new belt, they have to learn a new kata, whatever. The first part of the success loop is almost failure.
Yes,
you're uncomfortable. You don't know what you're doing. You're doing things wrong. You're getting frustrated.
Totally.
And that's at the point where this internal dialogue can sometimes take over because you feel like you're being defeated, like it's not going to get any better.
Yes.
But of course, we know the more we practice, the more we go through, the evidence has shown that you're going to come around in that success loop and you're going to be able to figure it out.
Totally.
So absolutely, I'm a big believer in internal dialogue and positive self-talk and just trying to stay positive on all that.
Absolutely. So when you're thinking about your technique, whether you're doing kata or moving basics or doing kumite or whatever, you need volume.
Yes.
And in that volume,
repetition,
you're having that internal dialogue. I think it was on either Joe Rogan or another podcast. They were saying like, maybe Joe Rogan, he was doing hot yoga.
Okay.
And he's like, man, I'm holding this position for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes. And the internal dialogue is fierce. Like, I'm just going to get up out of this really damn hot room and storm out of here. And he goes, but if I get through this 5 minutes, when I think about, what will I regret? I won't regret that I hung out.
Yeah.
And so it's really, as much as like doing all the isometric training and the stretching and stuff like that, it's the ability to get over that internal dialogue, that self-defeating talk.
100%.
And I think that's in kata and in karate.
100%.
Like, it's totally there.
Yeah.
So I think us as karate instructors have to remind the students, not just badger them, like, you should come to class, you should be dedicated. No, like, let's talk about the benefit of why it's there and the volume. And when Katada Sensei was here, he had this thing where there's no stage 2 or 3 until I see you actually really push stage 1. And so you had to kind of get over that self-defeating talk.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what your age is. I know there's people out there who are listening to our podcast who are like, I'm too busy to work out. We're not busy to work out. Take one thing out.
Yeah.
Take one thing out. Don't give yourself that self-talk.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I love that.
Anyway, so start of the year, hang out, be strong. This one girl who's training with us now said, Sensei, if I quit when I'm a yellow belt and I want to come back a couple months later, do I get to still be a yellow belt? I'm like, sure. You come out of the yellow belt, but you're
behind.
You're behind. All your muscles. What is it, like 7 days until you atrophy? And
not quite that much, but yeah, it's like 2 weeks. About 2 weeks for strength losses.
Yeah.
Well, depending. A trained individual can hold on to strength performance up to 2 weeks, but untrained, it's a lot quicker.
Yeah, so you're going to make all these benefits. You're going to train so hard, be so happy you passed your belt test, and then boop. Right? It's like someone getting the black belt and suddenly quitting.
Yeah.
Like, no, you got to travel.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Anyway, that's my tip as we're all going for instructors, for the athletes, for the karateka.
I love it. That's the technical tactical of the week.
Yes.
My fitness training tip is it possible? Can you do it? Concurrent training. Concurrent training is when you're training different things at the same time. So I'm thinking more in the gym. We've talked a lot about like aerobic training, your cardio sessions, and how that's important for karate. We've also talked about our anaerobic, like our weightlifting and all that kind of stuff. Is that doable to do both of those at the same time?
Bench as fast as you can and then go out and sprint on the floor.
Yeah, or go for a long jog and then come do a weight training thing. There's a lot of people that believe that if you want to, because karate is mostly anaerobic, that you have to stay anaerobic to be able to perform in karate. But that's not actually true. You can train both anaerobically and aerobically. You just have to do it properly. So if you're going to be lifting weights, the general rule of thumb is if you're going to be lifting weights or doing any type of resistance training, you want to do that before you do any of your cardio or endurance training.
Interesting.
Because, of course, you're going to be requiring a lot more on your muscles and on your joints to do that than just going for a run or whatever. So you want to do that either first in the day or on a day that you're not doing your
So don't lift weights and immediately go do karate. Or can you do karate? And
you can, no, you should do it. If you're going to do it, you should do it that way. You should lift weights and then do karate.
Okay.
But you shouldn't do karate, fatigue your muscles, fatigue your joints, and then go and lift weights.
Nice,
you should actually try and get it done before.
Okay.
So always try and do your weightlifting first. Or if there's something you're prioritizing, like if you're prioritizing your kata and you need to be strong in your kata, you should probably maybe do your kata first. So it always comes to specificity, the principle of specificity.
That makes sense, yeah.
What is it that you're specifically
like if you're training for a
improve?
belt test, train for the belt test. Be as
Lifting
fresh
weights
as possible.
is not going to probably help you. I mean, it'll help you in different ways, but it's not going to help you technically in your belt test. So if you're training for a belt test, obviously do your belt test. But if you're an elite athlete or just any athlete who's doing both weight training and karate training at the same time, try and get your weight training done first, because it's not actually going to negatively affect your karate performance. It might actually even help it because your muscles will be potentiated. Whereas if you do it the other way around, you won't get as much gains from the weight training.
That's really great to know, because a lot of people want to pile, like me too, pile a lot of things into a certain amount of time.
For sure.
Right?
Now, if you do, sometimes it's not possible. You do your karate training, and the only time you have is right after karate to do your weight training.
Yeah.
That happens.
Well, the workout of the week, like we promote that before or after class of your
So if you're going to do it after, that's fine, but make sure you're scaling it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do 100% of your bench press or squats or whatever it is you're doing. Scale the weight back a little bit, because keep in mind your muscles are going to be tired and fatigued from the karate class or any endurance training.
If someone has the time, they can structure their time. Would you lift weights in the morning, work out in the afternoon?
There's a lot of debate on this. It's very much specific to the person. So it's the same way with your circadian rhythms. Are you more of a night person, or are you more of a morning person? So it's more something that you just have to play with and be mindful of when you perform your best. It's the same thing that we say for students or people who are trying to, study, for hours and hours a day.
Yep.
It's probably best just to study for 1 or 1.5 hours every single day instead of 10 hours one day.
Totally.
But you need to find that time where you are more receptive to taking in the information, right? Like for myself, I know my best workouts are in the morning before I go through my work day, and I get tired from that. But some people, it's the other way around. They perform better at night. Maybe they stay up later at night, so they perform better in the nighttime. So it is individual. You just need to find basically what's best for you. Physiologically, it would be best in the mornings. Morning would be best to do your weight training. But again,
good to know, everybody out there.
For you. So there you go.
And if you can't do anything, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Doing it.
Do it. Just get it done. Don't worry.
As with always, something is always better than nothing. So whatever you can do, go ahead and do it. So there you go. That's what
we've been trying to tell people, okay, after class when you're practicing, especially teens, adults and stuff, take 10-15 minutes and review what we were doing in class, like your kata, your performance, whatever. Yeah. And then that's all the time you have. Go do the 50-minute workout.
Yeah.
Just get it in.
Yeah.
And feel good about it afterwards,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it.
We're done.
All right. There we go. So let's just go over a couple of the upcoming tournaments. We are now into September. Can you believe it? We are already into September. Before we know it, it'll be Christmas.
It's my daughter's birthday today.
Is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Emma.
Yeah. 11.
Yeah,
11
awesome.
years old.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for her.
She jumped on me this morning, really early. I'm like, yeah, it's still kind of early. She goes, it's my birthday. I'm like, okay, happy birthday.
You're like, yeah, I know.
I know. I gotta wake up first. Yeah. That was really fun.
So coming up, September 14th to 16th, that is the next K1 Premier League. That's the German Open coming up here in a couple weeks. 1 week, actually.
That's gonna be big.
That's gonna be big.
Yes.
So we'll keep an eye on that. And the next one from there is Series A, September 21st, 23rd in Chile. And then the next Premier League is Japan, Tokyo, Japan.
It's only
October.
2 K1s left.
Yeah,
there's this one in Santiago and then in Japan.
And of course the World Championships on November 6th. So some big tournaments coming up. September's going to be big.
It's going to be awesome.
Can't wait. It's going to be lots of fun. And of course, we're going to be here to bring you all of the news, all of the talk in the karate world, because we are the #1 karate podcast in the world, ranked by
Us.
Everybody. I don't know.
And we keep saying we're going to have people on the show. We are going to have people on the show.
Yeah, for sure. We are.
We've got it almost figured out. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. So keep listening, guys. Mondays, these podcasts come out, and you can find us at karate360podcast.com or Karate360podcast on Facebook.
Right on.
I'm one of the co-hosts, Kalen Anglos.
I'm Richard Mazzel.
Thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
San Rokumaru.
Boom.